Hey, this is John C. Hopkins from Mexico Word of Life. I want to tell you about a new show that we're announcing called Mexico Word of Life Ministries. Life for most seems aimless, uncertain, and cold, but we're here to tell you about God's love, how He can lead and guide you into real truth. This truth reaches the highest level of enlightenment, soothes all doubts, and calms all fears. Many today believe that God is dead, and if He was alive, He's indifferent to your needs. This is hardly the case. God loves you, and if you will receive the message of His Son, Jesus Christ, you will never be the same. Don't be confused. The journey of life with the Lord is not a bed of roses, but one of excitement, power, and struggle. This show will provide you with excellent teachings on how you can live life without fear and have complete trust in God. The key is that you don't give up. If you can endure until completion, you will receive a reward that no eye has ever seen and ear has not even heard. Come join us. You will never be the same.
Today's another good day to live and enjoy the fruits of God's labor. And as good Christians, what is the one thing that we should always do? Should love God, believe in His Son Jesus Christ, and all of the words that He put down in His Bible. But the thing that we don't do as Christians, that we tend to seem to take for granted, we don't like to just open up a book and study it, so that whenever the wrong kind of person comes along, we don't know what's going on. So what's the thing we need to do? We must study to be approved and work to rightly divide the word of truth. If you don't believe that's something that's actually in the Bible, because people love to believe anything that's intelligent nowadays, it had to be in Eastern philosophy, it had to be said by a wise man from a person making billions, or it had to be said in some person hiding in the mountain that fasted for 50,000 days and eats nothing but lettuce, onions, and rice. Well, if you don't believe me, go to 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. For people that think you're just making this God thing up. Because a lot of people just don't believe anything intelligent was actually done by the Bible. The reason why it is because a lot of Christians don't ever try to push the different wise sayings that are in the Bible. They love to say things like, cleanliness is next to godliness. And you're like, okay, I want you to find that somewhere in the Bible. Right now, I'll wait for you. In fact, I'll go get to McDonald's real quick, go get a sandwich, go get a soda, come back, and see if you can figure it out. And if you can, I'll give you a cookie. I'm going to say right now, you're not going to find it. That's the reason why that is, because as Christians, we don't do a very good job of making sure people know things are of the Bible and of God. We just like to just latch on to whatever anybody else says, and we just try to, whatever the world's going with, we like, hey, that sounds good, let's just throw that in here. Because, I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in the Bible. Because why? We don't read. We don't study. We don't rightly divide the word of truth. Amen. Okay, it says in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who does not need to be ashamed, and who correctly handles the word of truth. That's the same way as it's said in the various different variations. That was a New International Version. But basically, it's the same as what we said. If you do your job, and you're not ashamed of what God told you to do, and you're not ashamed of the word, what happens? You basically can do what God told you to do. Because people go around throughout the day, because I'm sitting there watching various programs, and you'll hear people saying stuff, and they'll be like, man, I heard that, and it's something that Confucius said. I'm like, no, that was in Proverbs. Because my brother was like on a website like a year or so ago, and he would just put different sayings from Proverbs or Psalms, and almost everybody would sit there and tell him, yeah, that was a good word. It had to be some Easter, like that's not Eastern religion. Amen. That's in the Bible. If you're one of those people that needs to know nothing but wise things, I suggest you go to Proverbs and just read it from chapter 1 to the final chapter of the book. And then look for anything that says Solomon on it. And just stay there. Go to Daniel. Stick to anything that he says and just stay there. Go to anything that has anything reference to Jesus Christ and just stay there. The Bible was not written by stupid people. The Bible is a work of history that lets you know everything you need to know. Because we were watching a program the other day, and it was talking about the history of the world. They said, but people are like, well, the Bible's basically written by fairy tales and magic, and it's not really meant to be taken literally. They're like, the Bible's the only book they can find in existence that actually is a lineage from the beginning to the end And it's supposed to be read that way. So if they started that way in Genesis and they end that way in Revelations, that means everything you've read from the beginning to the end of the Bible is something he wants you to take at its word. He's not asking you to interpret it your way. He's like, I wrote it this way. It's up to you to accept it or let it go. And you do that by why? By reading, studying, and dividing what's wrong and what's right. Because a lot of people, what they love to do is to grab a word out of context so they can keep a people down, to keep a gender group down, to keep a class down. God's like, that's not the way I've done that. Because like we were talking about different programs, like if you read anywhere in the Bible, where does God ever say anything about someone's skin color where he's trying to put them down? The only time he does that is to let you know who that person was. These people were this. Oh, and they just happen to be dark skinned. These people were this, and they just happen to be light skinned. These people were this, and they just happen to be poor. He never says anywhere, I hate black people. I hate Asian people. I hate Latino people. I hate people in the Middle East. He's like, they all right here. I made it. And if I made it perfect. And if you divide the word of truth, you won't let anybody tear you asunder, believing that hate something that's good. And in this climate and all climates before and after, nothing you see is new under the sun. The only difference is we have the internet, we have TV, so you can actually see stuff happen in real time. Because we were talking, one person told me, Jason, these end days, they're just getting worse than they were before. I was like, that's true, but it sounds more like you're paying attention to it more. You're actually not putting your head into the sand. You can actually see it front and center. You can't just hide like in the past. You had 3 channels. If you don't want to hear something, you turn off the TV, walk away. Now you don't hear something, it's going to pop up on your phone. It's going to pop up on your computer. It's going to pop up. Someone else said, did you hear what happened the other day? And it won't be one of those things where it happened a week ago. No, it'll happen in real time. When a bombing happens, you get an alert. Bomb just blew up in Paris. You're like, whoa, let that sink in. In the past, in the recent past, because I don't know what happened in the ancient past, but in the recent past, when something like that happened, you had to wait till someone reported. You had to wait till they sent the camera crews there. You had to wait till it got sent to you. Then you read it in the paper tomorrow. And if they didn't like it, they'd pull it out. Well, someone's always telling you these things. God's like, nothing's new there. He's like, I will always protect you. Why? Because I said so. He said, if I can bring people out of Egypt in an empire that had them enslaved and give them their own land, what can I do for you?
Praise the Lord.
All you have to do if you have any problems is just open up a book. Open up the Bible. And a person's like, well, I don't have time to read the Bible. Well, I've got 2 parents that used to hate technology. Hate it from the fiber of their being. They got new technology and this is good. Tap in a little bit, this is really good. And they tap it again, this is very good. Now they're at the point, they get different things better than I can get it. And why is that? Because they did something that people are supposed to do. They said if you want to know something, what you do, you seek.
Amen.
And you shall find. Knock. And the doors will be open. All you have to do is drop that barrier to the side. Just like you do with the word. And you'll find anything you want.
Amen.
If you don't want to read in the book, read it on your phone. You don't want to read it at all, listen to it audible.
Amen.
Everything's available to you. All you have to do is seek.
That's right.
And when you seek it, make sure when you hear something new said, go and check it in the Bible and reference it and see, is this actually good? The person's like, what do you mean? Well, you can do a simple Google search nowadays. You're like, well, I want to know something about healing. We just put in healing Bible, give you 50,000 scriptures. Oh, I like that one. You stick onto it. Then it'll give you a cross reference. Then you want to stick to it. You say, oh, I like what that person said. Then you click on that, and that person sits there and tells you and breaks down everything you need to know about the word. Everything's in your it's right at the tip of your fingers. All you have to do is read. And God's like, it's the same thing I wrote and was passed down by word of mouth back in the day. It's the same thing I wrote and put down on papyrus and on different stone. And it was passed on. Would it be the 10 Commandments? Would it be something that was said by a preacher yesterday? He said, my word is good. It's been good for eons. It'll be good eons after. He said, when the earth passes away and all falls away, my word will still be there.
Amen.
All you have to do is just read.
Praise the Lord.
And it says in we'll jump over to Titus chapter 2, verse 14. All right. It says he gave himself for us to redeem us from all lawlessness, and to purify for himself a people for his own possession, zealous for good deeds. God's like, I gave myself to you so you be part of my Father's creation.
Praise the Lord.
He says, since you are his possession, now you can have everything I said you can have. Yes, people love to talk about what Adam and Eve did in the garden. But what did he tell you? He said, you're free from the curse of the law. Everything they did
Praise the Lord.
falls to the wayside. How do I know this? Because I read it. I looked for it. I did a Google search and I found it.
Well,
Because people are like, well, Jason, I believe in curses. Well, that's good. You're free from every curse. All you have to do is believe. Like when someone sits there and says, some witch doctor, I don't care if a witch doctor put a curse on you. Here's what you don't see. When that witch doctor's trying to do a curse, there's an angel sitting over there with a sword over the demon like, go ahead and try me. It's like, go ahead and make my day. Where do you think people get that from?
Amen.
It's something that's in your spirit that knows what actually happened. Because what was the prophet? Was it Elijah or Elisha where they opened his eyes and he saw the entire armies? Elisha. Because I always get the two of them mixed up because it's too close.
Amen.
He's like, if you would just believe. He said, I had to open their eyes back in the day so they would believe. He said, I've given you everything for you at your fingertips so you can believe. If you would just open your eyes and realize there's more with you than there is against you.
Amen.
If a person who creates, or I shouldn't even say person, if a being, a creator who creates the entire fabrics of time, space, and everything tells you, I got your back. That's all you need to know. Like when a person says, when you're a kid, and your parents tell you, because they're like your parents are the center of your world. Everything in life revolves around your parents. So they tell you, don't worry, if you go to sleep, it's going to be safe. What does every kid usually do? They go to sleep. They go safe and sound. He's like, that's what I've done for you. My son died for you, so now I am your father.
Praise the Lord.
I will protect you.
Praise the Lord.
Satan can say everything bad to you that he wants to. He's like, I got you. He said, when you walk out that the door, people are like, I'm so afraid. Why are you afraid for? I've got angels watching you.
Amen.
If I have to make the entire traffic stop, if I have to make the rivers, the oceans part to the side, he said, I'll bring you through.
Well, praise Him.
All you have to do is believe. Because people sit there and they're like, it's so hard for me to believe. You know why it's so hard for you to believe? Because everything in life tells you it can't be simple. It has to be hard. You have some religions that say there has to be good and there has to be bad. There has to be light and there has to be dark. God's like, who told you that? That's not what I told you. He said, I made it. It's good. It's ready. In fact, it doesn't blow your mind. He's already seen the end.
Amen.
It already happened for him.
Praise the
He
Lord.
knows where you're going to go. He's like, I'm still giving you a lifeline knowing what will happen
Amen.
so I can bring you out. Because if people really think about the fabric of time and they think about the existence of eternity, they would appreciate the life they had.
Amen.
And you know how I know this? Because I read it.
Praise the Lord.
I divided it. And I read it again and I referenced it. Why? Simple Google search. Everything's right there in the tip of your tongue. Every single city around the world has some kind of church, some God-believing person that believes in his son, Jesus Christ. All you have to do is find them.
Amen.
I don't care if you're in India, the U.S., the U.K., Australia. I don't care if you're in Iceland or Antarctica. Someone's believing. And you know how I know this? Because we're not destroyed.
Praise the Lord.
I was watching a special the other day, and it was talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. They said they think they may have found it. And they said, but here's the reason why no one could find it before. They said, why is it? Because there's nothing there. They said, what do you mean there's nothing there? They said, all there is like outlines of what used to be walls and cities.
Amen.
But they said, but we couldn't tell what it was. They said, we kept looking it over, and he said, it's like something just melted everything. You have all the potteries melted. All the, what should be bones are gone. They said, the only reason we knew it was because we found a map, and it showed you where it should be. And that was it. He said, I'll wipe it off the face of the planet, because they said it was like brimstone came down and just melted the entire land. And they said, for whatever reason, it didn't touch the rest of it. It was just that one spot. Why is he? God's like, I wrote it.
Amen.
I said that's what would happen. Why are you surprised? All he asks us to do is just believe.
Amen.
So when a person walks over to you, like my dad always says, people that are Christians, they kind of get scared when someone questions them about the Bible. Say, I don't know all that. Well, that's cool. Here's what you do. Someone walks to you and says, is this in the Word? You have your phone. Almost everybody has a smartphone now. They say, okay, hold up. What was that? Put it in real quick in a search. Okay. Yeah, it says in this, and this, that he will supply all my needs. Well, what about this? Oh, hold up, sir. Click in. Yeah, that's what it said. That's all you have to do. It's at your, just like you would actually check a score in a sports game, just like you would check a movie date, just like you would check what actors in whatever movies or whatever's happening around, do the same thing with the Bible.
Amen.
And you know what the best part is? If you believe in it, it'll be so. And here's the worst part about it. Even if you don't believe in it, it's still going to be so.
Amen.
Like people's like, well, if I believe all the positivity, I will have happiness. That's cool. I'm happy for you. Satan's somewhere laughing at you like, but do you believe in Jesus Christ? No, I don't believe. Cool. So you go and do your positivity. So when you die and close your eyes, it'll be like, here you go. I have a nice little chariot for you. So where's it at? And he just kicks you on down there. And you're stuck there for eternity. Because we even talked to our dad one day. One person's like, it's better to be evil and be evil all the way and hold on to it and never turn. Dad's like, no, that's stupid. You had a lifetime to turn around. It's right there in front of you. The Bible does not try to deviate. It's the same as it was 6,000 years ago as it will be tomorrow. In a minute that just passed with me talking. All you have to do is just read. And I hope something I said has helped somebody today. And hope they believe that God's for them, not against them. And somehow you'll just know